Good day, my dear friends. Thank you for joining me once again. This is Dr. Josiah B. Ando, your love and life consultant. I come your way again with another very interesting discussion. I know it's interesting because today we are going to talk about choices. Life is full of choices. You make choices one way or another as you move along. You choose what food you should eat, what clothes you should wear, which road you should take to work, and all sorts of choices on a daily basis. As you go about making these choices, you know that whatever choice you make affects your life one way or another. One such choice is the choice on whom to marry. And so today I present to you the question, whom should I marry? This question to me is the second most important question for you to answer in life. Reason is that it determines how you are going to live the rest of your life here on this earth. The first most important question, I believe, is the question on whom you would want to worship. And I believe that the best choice is to worship God because that determines your life in eternity. But on the question of whom should I marry, today I am presenting to you three very important elements you need to look at in making that choice. Point number one, marry somebody you know. If you are thinking of getting married, what you need to understand is that whoever you are getting married to, you are going to live with the person for the rest of your life. Imagine living with a total stranger. Imagine living with somebody you do not know at all. Now, it is for this reason that it is important to understand that you need to marry somebody you know. By somebody you know, what I mean is that you should have been friends with this person over a period, and in the course of your friendship, you were able to outline certain qualities that the person has. You were able to understand certain things about the person, and you know the person well enough. For example, before you decide that you are getting married to Mr. A, to Miss B, or whoever, you should, for example, know the person's anger and expression of anger. You should, for example, know how the person expresses happiness, disappointment, the person's sense of jealousy. You should know the person's background in certain aspects, and you should be able to appreciate and understand how this background affects the person's behavior, his decisions, her decisions, and way of life. And so the first point you need to note in deciding on whom to marry is you need to decide that I am going to marry somebody I know, somebody I have studied, and I know the person's emotional posture, I know the person's social posture, I know the person's financial posture, I know the person's spiritual posture. You know the person inside out. If you do this, you will not be marrying a stranger. You need to note, however, that even if you work with somebody for 20 years, 30 years, you cannot know anybody 100%. But at least you should know the person well enough to be able to make the decision that you intend to live with him or her for the rest of your life. Point number two, marry somebody who meets your principles. Everybody has principles, except that sometimes many people don't even know what principles they have. But everybody has principles, everybody has values, everybody has things that he or she thinks that this is what I stand for. And so you need to, for example, know what you stand for in life. You need to know your likes. You need to know your dislikes. You need to understand yourself, know what you can tolerate, what you cannot tolerate, what you can accept and what you cannot accept. And then when you know yourself this much, then you'll be able to use these elements of yourself that you know to assess your partner or to assess the person you intend to get married to. So that if you are somebody who values truth, or you are somebody who values adherence to strict timing, or you are somebody who values transparency, any of these values, they are aspects of your principles. Does the person that you are getting married to meet those principles? And that is the question you need to answer. So you are choosing to marry, and you are choosing to marry somebody who meets your principles. Somebody that you can say that he or she understands what you stand for and also goes in line with them. Not somebody who would always flout your principles. If you marry somebody who does not meet your principles, what happens eventually is that the two of you would always be in conflict, and it doesn't augur well for any marriage. So the second point, like I said, is marry somebody who meets your principles. Point number 3, marry somebody you are compatible with. Compatibility is so important because marriage involves the two of you coming together to become one. And so if you are not compatible, it will not work. Compatibility has to do with the two of you fitting into each other perfectly, such that we do not experience much problem in your union. And so you would need to think of marrying someone you are compatible with. And when we talk about compatibility, we are talking about it in terms of several aspects. Is your age compatible? Are you within the same or close age brackets, for example? Or you are 20, 30, 15 years apart from each other? You may not be compatible if the age gap between you is too high. So you need to check age compatibility. You need to check health compatibility. Your sickle cell status and your partner's sickle cell status. Your blood group and your partner's blood group. Your overall health status. Are you compatible with each other? You need to check, for example, your religious compatibility. When you have too many religious differences or faith differences, it gives room to a lot of misunderstanding and conflict, and you are unable to raise children within the same faith. Because of these challenges, it's important that you ensure that you are compatible in terms of your faith. How about social compatibility? What are your interests? And what are the interests of your partner? Do you share common interests? You like music. The person doesn't like music at all. You like reading. The person doesn't like reading at all. How would you be able to come together with these different interests? So in terms of social compatibility, we are talking about your interests, we are talking about how you make friends, we are talking about how you appear in society. You need to be compatible in that aspect. We can go on and on and on and talk about several aspects of compatibility. All you need to do is to ensure that you are compatible. And so, my dear friend, what I have been telling you has been this: marry somebody that you know. Marry somebody who meets your principles. Marry somebody that you are compatible with. If we are to put this in the nutshell, the question is, whom should I marry? My counsel to you is that marry somebody you can stay happily in marriage with. And that person is the one I just described for you. I believe based on these, you'll be able to make a good choice and you would enjoy marriage to the brim. Thank you for watching, and I would entreat that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead, click the subscribe button, and remember to also click on the bell so that you get notification anytime I post a new video. Also remember to share with others because others need to learn. Leave a comment and like the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.